couple days. So once I have that, I'll have those exact figures.
You're proposing giving different pay raises to different levels, is that what you're saying?
Well, it's the way it's always done. I mean, it wasn't done last year, but yeah, it's what we do with our salary grid, okay? We may increase our comments in salary grid by this high, then all those comment employees, they move up. So all the comments move at the same, all the PATs move at the same, all the LTCs move at the same, and the police officers move at the same. But the PATs may get less or more than the comments.
Back to doing what this was originally set up to do, actually.
Right. If you look from 2003 down to 2008, those are the increases that everybody got, and they're all different by job type. The only time that it hasn't been different was last year. See what I mean? Comments got a 2 point, or in 2003 you guys did a blanket 2.7. I mean, it's possible to do blankets.
I guess I just had always thought it was straight across blanket, but it's not been.
No.
It's possible to do blankets, but it's that's not how the system is.
Get you out of whack if you do.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah. Can't see that.
Because the person making more makes more of an increase at 3% than the person making less.
Oh, yeah.
Than that.
Right.
So sure.
My question is, how can we do this and not have another meeting? How can,
Let's just shoot it.
I really
Are
have
you
to
good
finish
with
this
that?
up or I'll just be
Yeah.
working forever. I mean, that's why we're meeting today, but
Right there, you gotta have it done to them, though.
You can always overshoot, right? Can't you just always overshoot?
If you say 2%, does it then have to be 2% no matter what?
No.
It does.
it does once it goes in that paper.
Yeah, everybody's gonna see it.
Well, that's just the.
See, I think we missed the scheduling
I do too, 'cause
and advertising.
Well, I think we should have advertised the budget as
As it was
presented to us.
presented.
Whatever they came in at, that's what
That's
we
right,
advertised.
that's what we always did, isn't it?
Yeah, but we didn't do it this year. I don't
That's
know why,
right,
but
that's right, because you
No,
always shot your first one high.
We haven't advertised anything yet.
no.
But and then don't you advertise it once, then you advertise it again?
Then you have to adopt it. You'll have that thing at the end of the thing where you adopt it. Here.
yeah, first publication,
The adopt the county budget and the solid waste is gonna be October 2nd. You'll have a hearing on September 5th if anyone comes in. But once you put it in the paper and you advertise it, you can't go down below what you can't go above what
Right.
you advertise in the
Right.
paper.
Right, you always shot high.
But then
We
once
always-
it's then
Yeah.
you have the hearing, and people come in and they're like, oh no, I really needed that, then we make changes. So I mean, it's my understanding that the employees know, oh, well, that doesn't mean that that's what we're gonna get.
Right, that's right. Because we always shot high, always did.
Yeah,
Well,
you
then I
advertise
just-
high,
Well, you
Then
advertise,
I have to move the part over in the thing to say that you guys we're gonna publish it at the 3% there.
well, that is
And
kind
then
of what
you're
we've
gonna
always
adopt
done.
it something else later.
Exactly,
you always advertise what the request is.
right.
That's the first advert. Whatever they requested, that's what you advertise. Then
Unless
we
the
cut it
laws
down,
change.
then we get it down to what we adopt, which is always less than what you advertise.
Okay.
I mean, is everybody else recalling the same thing?
I don't know whether we're doing it properly this year or not, but that's the way it's always been.
We'll put it in advertise high and then we'll move it over. Advertise it and leave it like this, what we finished today. Do you want it at 3% or 2%?
Well, you have to rerun all the numbers then.
Totally, that's why I'm asking.
I'd leave them at 3 then, if you're gonna have to do that. Just leave them
Because
like you
then
got 'em.
everybody's gonna think, oh, that doesn't mean anything, that's just what we all put in. That's not the actual budget, and you can, help spread that message that that's not the budget, that's what's being
the budget.
advertised.
Budget request.
Right, budget
All right, how many
request.
employees are gonna read that budget in the paper? I don't think they will. I think I'd advertise them like she's got them at 3, and then we'll gut it and do what we
Right.
have to do.
Because I would much rather, so this year it can be back to actual, so we're leading the market and not
That has to
guessing.
redo that once you know. You have to let me know
Absolutely.
sooner.
Now-
And then it's gonna have to be changed by the September,
And
when the public hearing comes
Fifth.
in on the 5th.
And Pam will give you a spreadsheet. I mean, I was one in the budget myself and changed the numbers and then handed that to Linda and said, here's the budget, here's what the number should be, here you go. And then they would match a spreadsheet that Pam has.
And we do it through Gateway now, and that's not the way it's done.
How's it gonna be done?
Through the state Gateway system,
I know, but how do you plan on doing it?
I'll have to go in and change every one of them based on what that worksheet that you guys are working on.
Okay, perfect. Alright, I just wanna make sure that you were
And
using the
that
spreadsheet.
you guys are using is also what goes on the salary ordinance now too,
Mhm.
because we don't have any 144s anymore.
Okay.
So between now and September 5th, you're gonna have to tell me the final, when we have the public hearing to announce any changes of what we advertise.
That won't be a problem.
Because
So-
then you will adopt it differently than what you advertised it at.
So you're gonna advertise it as is on the 22nd and 29th,
Uh-huh.
and then sometime between today and September the 5th, we have an additional meeting, finalize it, and that's what the numbers will be.
Well, you could actually change it when you have that public hearing and announce to the public that you advertised it at this, but we're only gonna spend this. That's what you can do on September 5th.
Okay?
And then whatever you finalize that, then you will have your meeting on October 2nd and you will adopt the budget.
So I could bring the real figures, the final figures to council on September 5th,
You'll have to give them to me before that, so I have
Can
final numbers on the budget.
update the sheets.
Mhm.
Well, but I can't say what these guys are gonna decide to do.
Yeah, that's what stinks. So when you have it, you kinda have to let me know, or I can't have any final numbers to have the hearing on.
Okay. I guess alright.
When, how close are we gonna, to seeing some proposed assessed
That's
valuation?
what I have to wait on. I have to wait on until we
So we
can.
know of how much money some idea what's available. That's the dangest thing ever. You should, making a budget, you don't have any idea what the income's gonna be. Well, you got some idea, but
We don't have assessed value yet either, and I just dropped that by 10%.
when can you get some of those figures? You got any, I mean, I'm not putting, I just wonder if you had any idea.
We had them September 5th last year.
Yeah, we had some last year.
We don't have them.
You really don't have any idea when we can see.
No.
Did we determine anything on the group insurance? Do we need to? Because it was an
Gotta pay it.
Yeah.
Where's
the rest
of it coming
out of?
I mean,
Yeah.
Well, it's gonna come
pretty
out
sure it's not going down.
property tax.
That could be.
Yeah, it could.
Do we have enough in rainy day to? I mean,
We talked about that last meeting when I did, just like I did for the QCAP thing. Should I leave that up? No. Rainy day today is 1,113,000 right now. Rainy day doesn't bring in tax dollars like the other funds do. Rainy day is outside of the group. We've brought, the rainy day receipts for the year are $21,000, and we've spent $539,000 out of it.
Kinda sounds like home.
That,
And the reimbursements for the 21,000 are people who pay their own insurance, like Jarrell and the people who pay for their insurance. That's the only money we've had coming into this in the last year. We don't have a tax rate on rainy day like other
don't we get some money from gambling?
wagering. We don't have the wagering thing in there yet. That's usually, that'll come pretty soon. I can tell you how much we got in last year.
You, I was looking for this revenue, there's gonna be more cars.
Last year, from January 1st of 2011 to to December, we brought in only $176,000.
Oh,
And we
yeah.
spent 854 out of rainy day.
You're not telling me that.
We brought in receipts for the whole year of 2011 in rainy day of 176,000, and we spent 854.
Holy shit. So where do we come up with the money for the health insurance?
For what?
So where do we, is that good, is that the right
That
question?
is a great question. I've been
So where do we come up with the money for the group insurance, health insurance?
How much do we have budgeted right now?
900,000.
900,000. How much do
And
we need?
200,000 is the highways portion that they're contributing.
Okay, so we got
We
212,000.
need 1.5.
And we've got 900,000, so already budgeted, we have 1,000,001.
And we need 1.5. We need another $400,000 somewhere.
400,000. We're looking for 400,000.
That can only come from tax money.
Western.
It's the only place you can.
Yeah, hell, get
Chip
in line.
in.
Crop insurance.
Well, if you drop the thing 60 or 70,000 would be in wages that we were gonna pay out in wages. It's gonna be 60-some-4%, but that still leaves
68%.
yeah, 68,000 guesstimated, but that doesn't help the 400,000 we've gotta find.
Hope we got a big boost in assessed valuation.
I hope so too.
We will know that
See, we
when.
used to live with that.
Do you
That's-
wanna,
that's
do
not
you
right.
wanna
We used to live on
establish?
the inflation. That's right. But now we don't have it.
enough money to
Well,
pay
it's
for
been
their
going
insurance.
up, but
Not, not very much.
That doesn't make sense, does it?
I have a hard time with that. I don't understand that.
So if we look at 3% times, if we look at 3 times 68,000, we're talking
Times 70.
about 204,000.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so
That's half.
that would take us
Take it
to
all.
1.3.
So we're still 200,000 short.
short.
So now we're at 1.316.
You still short?
And how much do we need altogether?
1.5, or 1.7. Total, we need 1.747.
But the county, the highway chips in.
There we got that.
Yeah.
Well, and you hear about safety, put 8 ton on one of the trucks and run up down the road. You know, did these cars just
I got to the 400,000, I didn't do anything with that. I mean, I was just playing with the numbers upstairs.
So what, do you have a recommendation?
I did, that was my question, the same as his, where are we gonna pay for this? Out of, what do you suggest? I thought maybe we should put a tax rate on rainy day. But then if we're only gonna pay the employees of insurance out of rainy day, I don't think that's fair to make the taxpayers pay a rate into rainy day to establish the rainy day fund. I thought maybe we should put it in the commissioner's budget, or you guys' budget, and make county general pay for a portion of it.
I think I have to.
It's still a tax rate though, it's still adding to the
Well,
taxes.
before you get it, it's gotta be somebody's tax.
Yeah, that's right.
I didn't know if you wanted to put it as a line item to the commissioner's budget or the council's as group insurance to come up with the
How much
rest.
are we short? How much money we gotta find?
Right now, we're at about 400.
But no, I don't know
With how much
where to get it from.
wage increase? 2%?
That's taking out wages altogether.
Yeah, that's just,
Zero wages.
That's just a negative.
I took, we did have 3% budgeted in there,
Right.
and so I took 3 times 68,000 and then took that off. So,
And then we're still 400 short.
So we're really 500 short.
Legal services could be cut
Who?
for commissioners.
Which one?
Legal services.
How much is that?
Right now, it's at 75,000. They've only expended 25,633.
But that's a hell of a ways from 400.
Well, I know, but a little, we need to work there.
We need to find big chunk.
There's
Paula?
not gonna be many.
I also wanna say 32,005, we haven't even got to the commissioner's budget yet, but, liability and property insurance from Star, I don't know what happened, but we played it out of CUMCAF last year. It needs to be here, not in CUMCAF, so where it has liability 32,005, the highway pays about 17 or 18,000 for their vehicles, and the, commissioner's budget needs up to 200,000 there.
Okay, let's look at this. We know the commissioner's budget was minus those institutional fees of 150,000.
But I put that back in
We're gonna
there.
put that back in there.
Okay.
But it looks like we saved 65 grand in EMS insurance liability.
That's part of the 32,005 now. It's just like, we're considering the ambulances to be just another county vehicle we have insurance on.
But it's still savings.
Yes.
But 32,503, I don't think's right. I don't think you got enough in there. Cause I think 2012, this year was our first year in the contract, right? And that was 310,000.
300.
Was it flat 300?
Uh-huh.
So.
So I had
you
the one
did
last
increase
year
that.
wrong. Mhm.
Okay,
So,
so we're good there.
Supplies came down 50,000. Peterborough has moved over to the assessor's budget. Well, I mean, with all these decreases here in the commissioner's budget, we may, have a good start.
What,
The longevity, we figured that the other day, and that's gotta be at 62,000 for next year. So that increased from 55 to 62.
could you not use some of the miscellaneous expenses out of the council budget?
What's in the council budget? The rainy day.
150,000.
Yeah, remember we put that in there as a cushion so we didn't have to come for miscellaneous. But still, there's, I don't think you guys got it yet. We're not putting any money into the 1186 account. So sooner or later, rainy day is not gonna have any money in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I
No, I
understand.
think we get it. I think we're just playing with numbers and we're speaking out
Oh.
loud.
Well, the commissioner's
Okay.
miscellaneous expenses is $500,000,
Where do you see that?
page 60. Well, that's the lease. That's
It's
under
probably the government's.
That's the lease, it's under miscellaneous
Oh, yeah,
expenses.
government.
Yeah.
Can't do anything with that one.
So supplies has dropped down 50 grand. Those are now throughout the budget, so. I wonder if you take, and you run a tape on all the supplies and all the other departments, what it totals. Where are we at? I mean, have our supplies increased now because all the departments?
I'll look at that. Supplies compared to the 75,000.
Yeah,
We left the 25,000 in there, and I think that's high.
Yeah, I
But we were gonna buy all the bulk paper through them, so we weren't like, oh, I don't wanna give the treasurer's office a box of 8.5 by 11 paper because I bought it out of my budget. We wanted that to be more universal. So we thought if we just left it in the commissioners.
so maybe take that down to 15,000. Supplies.
I'll look at what we bought for paper for the first half and double it and put that number in there and